Hello friends and beautiful people. We are working on our garden plans and I'm getting ready to set up all of the grow mats and the grow lights in the basement since my high tunnel still isn't done. And I got one little project I need to get done before I can get all that set up. So let me show you what I'm working on. All right, we have two Martin houses here on the farm. This one needs reworked. It needs some love on the inside. That one's not in bad shape. These things cost $1,000 a piece. Yes, you heard me right. But there is a more natural alternative, and from everything we're hearing from the Amish around here, even though they have these houses, they prefer my gourd houses. So that's what we're going to do. We raised some birdhouse gourds last year, and right now we are processing them. So these are the ones that I haven't started to process yet. And what I did was, and we've been, we come out and turn them, but we've got our coal stove right there. So ordinarily I would hang them in the high tunnel over the winter to dry, but actually I've had a lot of success with this. We have not lost any gourds. This liquid, dried liquid that you see here, that's from where I had seed trays out here last year. That is not from these gourds. So there's just no good way to get everything in the shot the way I want to. I did get a few gourds already done, but what we're gonna do, first of all, when we are raising birdhouse gourds, I like to trellis them. And the reason why is because then you get this nice bulb at the top with a nice bottom on it. If you let them go on the ground and just don't trellis them at all, I find that you don't get the good shapes that you're looking for. Now I do have a couple of fun ones that, oh, where did he go? Like this guy here didn't get a bulb, but he'll still be a cute little gourd. So what you do is you raise them just like any other squash. I wait to plant them until June so that I'm not as worried about squash bugs. But honestly, we didn't have any problems here this year, and I wish I had some wood I could knock on. We'll just knock on the gourd. So you let them dry on the vine. Now you do not leave them out there all winter. You won't be able to use the seeds for next year, and chances are they're just gonna rot on the vine. But what you do is you're gonna leave, when you harvest them, you're gonna leave a little bit of the stem on there. And ideally, you're gonna hang it from this stem to dry, and then you don't have to come out and turn it the way we do. Now they are going to mold a little bit, and that is normal. It's not a reason to throw them away, and it actually creates really cool patterns. Like this one, let's see if you can see it. It looks like a mosaic. So we just leave that alone. So we've dried them all winter, and how you can tell that they're all dry is if you shake it. Let me find another one here. I don't know if you can hear this. When it sounds like a maraca, she's ready to go. And it's all dry on the outside. And when I'm processing them, I check them to make sure there's no extra holes or squishy spots or anything like that. So what I'll do is I bring them in, and I use either, like this is a 220 grit sandpaper. You can use steel wool if you like. Most people recommend you wear a mask, especially when you're gonna cut the holes in them. I don't. I know, I'm bad. And you wanna do it like, you don't wanna do this at the kitchen table. We're in the basement. I can make a mess here. I can use whatever I need to use. I've got all the drains in the floors if I make too big of a mess, and it's all good. And I'm just gonna take my sandpaper, and I'm just gonna basically get the dirt off of it. I wanna do the whole thing, even the top, and I wanna make sure that I'm getting all of the mold off of it. All right, and then after we do that, we have, for the sake of this, I've just got a damp rag. But what I do is I wipe them down with a vinegar and water mixture. It's like, I use, I think it's a 2-quart pitcher, and I put about a cup of vinegar in there. Vinegar is a natural disinfectant. Now, if you want to bleach it, you can. We are an all-natural farm, so that's not something we do. So when I'm wiping it down, I'm also checking to see if there's any, you know, big spots that I missed or whatever. And then I make sure I set them all out to dry. All right, and I'm gonna put you on pause, and then we will go to the next steps, but I've got a few to do, so it'll be a minute. What else did I want to tell you? These, I know I said that these, you know, are a great alternative to those Birdhouse boxes that you can buy for $1,000. But let me tell you, another reason, if done properly, these can last up to 30 years, as long as you get them protected well. And by protected well, I mean you're going to actually, if that's your goal, is to make something very long-term, you're going to put some kind of a sealant protectorant on the outside of this to keep this, to make it last for 30 years. I'm not going to do that. I know some people paint them. If you do paint it and you want it for bluebirds, you're going to want to use an oil-based paint, because latex is going to flake off after the first year. And they prefer white. I mean, if you want to do one of those cute ones that you see at the craft mall that's all painted up and pretty, that's probably not going to be one that you want out in the yard for 30 years. It's not going to happen. So, all right, let me get some more of these sanded and get the rest of my tools together, and I'll meet you back here at the table. Okay, friends, it's the next day, and as you can see, I ended up with about 45 Birdhouse gourds. Now, one of the things I forgot to mention yesterday was that the reason why these are a little better than the Birdhouse that you actually build and pay $1,000 for, by the way, these are $75 or $74 on Amazon if you buy a plastic one. Keep that in mind too. But you're going to end up with some gourds that are not quite big enough for your 2 1/8 inch hole, or for, you know, let me put this by my hand. You can see it just fits in my hand. So it's not really going to be big enough for a nest or for a bird to do anything with. These are great for art projects, or if you wanted to do like a little hummingbird birdhouse, I guess is the best way to say it. So if you do that, make sure you go to your local Department of Natural Resources, and they have guides that show you what size hole you should build for different kinds of birdhouses. So I've got my beautiful assistant in here with me today, and let me show you what a hole saw is. Come on over here to the table there, Captain. So this is a hole saw bit, and for what we are using this for, we need about a 2 1/8 to a 2 1/4 inch bit, whichever one you've got. We have a 2 1/8 inch bit, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a hole in the side of the gourd. Now, let me get a better one for us to use right away, because I want one that actually stands up. Here, let's do this guy. So when you're looking at the gourd, you don't want your hole to be up or down, facing down. You want it to be right in the center so that it's a straight shot in and out for the bird. And it also will help, you know, if you have it up, you're going to get more rainwater in there, and we don't want that. So again, don't forget, we're going to put a couple of teeny tiny little holes in the bottom for drainage and ventilation. And then we're going to come back. Now, we're not going to show you us doing it today, but about 2 inches down, we're going to come and put a hole in to hang it. And that will also add a little bit of ventilation. So, Captain, I'll hold the gourd and you drill the hole. I had to bring him in because it's, if you saw my pledge video, you'll see sometimes it's hard to do a video while you're, all right, so get your position. I know, I've got gourds everywhere. I'm sorry, babe. So get your position, and then we'll turn it sideways. All right. So these things are pretty durable. And one thing that you do want to do before you start actually drilling the hole is you want to shake your gourds until they sound like a maraca. Shake them hard and get that maraca sound. And what you're doing is you're getting all that membrane off the inside of the gourd, and you're releasing those seeds. Because after he drills these holes, I'm going to get in there with the edge of like a wooden spoon, or we got some great chopsticks from the local place where we like to get sushi, and I'm going to come in and get out as much of that as I can, I'm not going to be worried that I don't get it all out.
They are not easy to drill.
Yeah, they're pretty durable. So if you can see, and we don't go too slow, but we don't get in there and just go to town. Because these things are basically like wood, and like I said in my earlier video, if you treat these, or the first part of this video, because I'll put them together, if you treat these well with a nice, you got it there, babe?
It's coming.
All right, they'll last for up to 30 years. Now see there's the goodies. This is why they recommend you wear masks, because this is a lot of fun. So the seeds, when you get the seeds out, this is what the seeds are going to look like. Any that are damaged like this, we're not going to plant, but we're going to go through and we're going to save seeds. So purchase one time will give you seeds for a lifetime. All right, so let me get a wooden spoon and I will start clearing this out. Okay, friends, so this is what it looks like on the inside. Somewhat cleaned out. If you notice, I didn't do anything up there. But I am going to show you look how cool this one's going to be. He just did this one. Can you see see how the mold just makes it look like a mosaic? But this is what you're going to get on the inside. I do want to show you. Let's see if I can get you there. That's how many seeds you get out of one gourd. So that's more than you're going to get out of one packet. So buying the seeds one time is going to save you enough for forever if you want to keep doing it. Now I also want to show you the difference between a good seed and a bad seed. All right, I showed you before, this is what a seed looks like. See how it's got the square head on the top? This one here is just a seed. It looks like almost like a cucumber seed or something like, there we go. It's a little bit better. That's not a good seed. He doesn't have his little head on him, so he's not, see that little square head? He's not as good of a seed. So, thank you, Tokyo Restaurant, for the chopsticks. And basically all I do is I'm going to just go in there, just kind of go around the edges, knock everything down, and pour it out. And that's it. So after this, we will drill the holes in the top, drill the holes for ventilation. We'll treat them with linseed oil, and we might, even though we're not a big chemical person, we might go ahead and put a sealant on them to make some of them last. And then the next thing we'll have to do is see if there's a blacksmith around here that can make me a gourd tower. All right, friends, till next time, be blessed and be a blessing. I lied, friends. That was not the end, because there's a couple more things I wanted to tell you. When we hang our gourds outside, we need to not hang them in trees for the purple martins. They don't like that. We want them to be 10 to 15 feet high, and we want to have this facing an open area. You don't want it facing like the trunk of a tree or the actual pole that you're hanging them on. And because they'll swing versus the ones that you keep straight, starlings won't like it. All right, this really is the end now. Till next time, be blessed and be a blessing.